Eddie.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to
Boo, you whore.
a show about horror, glamour, and everything in between. My name is Benji, and you can save 15% or more by switching to Geico.
Period. Hi, my name is Mac, and I was having a tea session with Sparks from Spyro, and she said to me, "Me, me, 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 me." Bitch, I was gagged.
Hi, my name is Mikey. And raise your hand if you've ever been personally victimized by Nessaros Throb. Exactly.
And my name is Morgan. And don't make me laugh. They were
Popular.
right.
All right, and the golden ticket on today's docket is season 6,
She
episode
got
8.
frogs, honey.
And
Frogs, honey.
season 6, episode 8 of
Dragula.
You know what to do. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, join in on the conversation with us because it's gonna get gaggy. All right.
Allegedly.
So we go into the mansion, and the Boulets are putting together a new creature of sorts. With a spritz, 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 spray. Head.
Here's
Um,
one.
and in the cauldron, everyone is starting to like trickle in and file in. There's fewer and fewer. Everyone's pretty set that like Jaharia's gone, girl.
Yeah.
And they're right.
Yeah.
Uh, so, which is unfortunate. I love Jaharia, but it gets real tight, and then the girls gotta go.
And do.
Uh, and do. A quick docket point into like the messiness of the cauldron in general. The girls, quite specifically Asian Auntie, are starting to fight on how well they took their bottom two placement week.
Please.
And I was like, can we agree that this could have been an email?
It's giving in Drag Race when they fight over like who was second and who was third. Like,
I
It's get
made
season 15 down.
I literally made that joke with Jeremy when we watched it together. It's like they're fighting over who's second and third. I'm like, you're both in the bottom, like.
like,
And that's
okay.
why when Pi was making confessionals be like, you two are fighting over who did it, try not being in the bottom. How about that? And like
Yeah.
at the time I'm like cunty and then I remember things.
Spoiler.
It's okay.
We're not
I
there
didn't say
yet.
I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything.
I
Benji,
think
gather her.
All right, Miss Brooks.
I
Um,
think I think the funniest thing for me about this whole exchange between Auntie and Asia is that like I get what Auntie is trying to say about
real.
like the lip sync being hard
Yeah,
because like you have to like directly send home one of your competitors by outperforming them in the moment. I
yeah.
like is what she meant by that. But it just came across as like she was trying to brag about prancing around the stage as if
Hmm.
that was like hard.
Right.
And
And I
so
would
like
I would be more on board with that analogy if she had like slayed the house down boots.
right. But she didn't. And like it
I
is what it
will
is. She
say that
still won. She definitely won, but
she
like
did.
Hmm.
I don't think the song that they chose again was very fitting of like a high energy lip sync performance either.
like it doesn't need to be though. We've
Hmm.
Wait a minute.
like
It was
especially
a step up, at least.
Like it built. I think that's the thing.
Hmm.
Like it took time to get there. Like it wasn't like I Love Hollywood where they got to smack dab just start right there.
Right.
So it's one of those that did take time. So of course, anyways. Um, so another small little highlight was that Auntie starts noticing the fixation Asia has on getting her out. And again, for some reason, I said pot meet kettle because I think they've both been on each other for quite some time,
They have.
but haven't like. I think they've also openly stated it too. So I'm like, y'all love each other, but y'all would prefer to get each other out. Which I mean, fair game.
I think it's just because they recognize that they're two of the biggest players in the game right now,
Yeah.
Period.
and they kind of have been the whole time.
Yep.
So
Game
like,
recognizes game.
yeah,
And does
and now it's getting close to the end, so they gotta fight it out.
real.
They
So
look so cute.
speaking of lefts
Sorry.
and rights, speaking of right hooks, the challenge is issued, and it is none other than the first edition of the Frankenhooker challenge.
Real.
So they have
Love.
to create a sexy look based on the horror film itself and perform a sexy video vixen music video. Now, how many of the girls knew of
Period.
Frankenhooker before this challenge?
I did not.
No.
Like in whispers, in the sense that like I'm a
Whispers.
horror
She
fan and watch a
she
lot of
heard
horror
tell.
media. Not that I have like seen it and was like obsessed, but like I knew of it, the idea
Yeah.
of her.
I mean, she's cute and kooky in comedy. I like read, I did like a Sparks note of sorts. That way I'm like, at least I'm going into what I'm critiquing on our show with a little bit of guidance and wisdom. Um,
Same.
but the fright feat was Dracula trivia with none other than our current exorcist, Miss Cynthia Dwall.
Booked and busy, honey. Booked and busy.
Listen, my new favorite quote is "There's the electric chair, bitch."
Mhm.
And the winner gets to cast the classic curse, the curse of baldness,
The curse of wig.
the curse of wig.
Wig. I understand that.
Yeah, I was just looking at that
Wig.
yesterday.
Nope,
Wig,
that's
I
just between
know.
That's
us.
just
That's just
between
between us.
us.
We understand each other.
uh, but if they were incorrect, they all got shocked to collars.
Like, what?
I call shade because I think that was all fake.
Oh,
I think it was all fake. I feel like the reactions just did not look like they were being electrocuted. Like when you're being
mm,
shocked, like your muscles are tense. Some people are like moving around while they're being shocked in like a very like natural way and not like a rigid like I'm being zapped right now. So I'm gonna call shade. The acting
real.
was fine for
I think
me.
they're just used to the electric shock at this point. They've used it so many times this season already. Even when
Yeah.
it was like not part of the
Mhm.
extermination, they're like, and they're also being shocked.
Yeah.
So they had the budget, the electricity budget was like bumping this
The
season.
PG&E was it, Mom.
Mama,
Literally. The
the pa
electric bill was paid, honey.
In
by
full.
Tammy, by
By
Tammy.
Tammy.
Literally. Utilities were included.
Now, which one of y'all would have gotten a perfect score on this quiz? Because I know
Me.
I missed at least two.
It's crickets.
I got so many of them right, and it was actually very fun as someone like a fan, a real fan of the show. Apparently, looking at my fake
Nerd.
sisters. I'm a nerd. I'm a Dragula nerd. What can you
I knew
say?
some of
But
them. I knew like half of them.
Yeah.
I
I knew most of them. It's just they were tricky ones for me that were really random.
Mhm.
like I every so often will say, "Fuck the big picture, Clint." I even use that as a intro, I think, one time. So
Literally 2 or 3
like
episodes ago.
that literally. So having that be a question, like fuck the bill. That wasn't
Fuck the
Right.
bill
fuck the
picture,
big pic.
Fuck,
Clint.
fuck the bill
Fuck the
picture,
big
Glint.
Fuck the billboard.
exactly. I just shouted Clint, and I'm like, I got myself a point. I would have won. Uh,
Period.
Right.
I was also living for Asia, like going like this on the side and being like, I know all the answers, bitch.
But
Like
I will
her
say,
super fan
like,
ass. Like
I will say it was funny, and like I appreciate that she was doing that because it gave her a really good edit, like
Hmm.
in that segment of being able to be like, these bitches said I got the easy questions, but I knew all of their questions too.
Real.
And like clock, she did.
And she
Yeah.
did. She had most of them, and they only did like they did more in the what was aired clearly, but like they're only doing three a piece with five girls or five ghouls left. There was at least 15 questions.
Right. I really enjoy that archetype on reality TV shows too. Like once they start getting into a few seasons, when they start casting somebody who's like a fan and
Damn.
Yeah.
like knows things about it, I'm always rooting for those people. Like that, it's like their dream to be on
Mhm.
this show. Like obviously we see in Survivor now, but like everybody's a super fan. That's the only way you can get cast anymore. But
Miss Angela from Big Brother 26.
mother, well, she was a plant, so
She can be two things can be true at
Two
once.
things can be true.
she her Price is Right moment, her Let's
Her
Make a Deal
let's make a deal
moment,
moment. Weren't those shot in the same lot?
Her
her
Dr.
Dr.
Phil
Phil
moment.
moment. Yes. Like she's
She
booking busy too.
listen,
Literally.
And she'll
she
be on
said
The Bold and the Beautiful or something probably.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised they didn't do that with anyone Big Brother related. I don't know how recent that's been, but wasn't that a thing for a little while?
What,
What?
Bold and Beautiful?
Yeah, where they would
Yeah.
be on the Bold and the Beautiful,
They
like,
they
They
just
just did it
had
with
they
Suri.
had Matt
oh, real, real,
Yeah.
real, real. Okay.
That's
from
Suri was there.
25.
Yeah.
They're like if they do it with anybody and it's not Angela from
They're not
26,
capital
I'm gonna be kind of
right.
upset.
No,
I
they
would
wouldn't
be
be
down.
capitalizing on a moment.
Oh, wait, who else? Who was on that season?
I think
25?
Uh,
I think Leah would give a cunty moment if she was on Bold and the Beautiful,
she would never do that
but
though.
she would never do that.
She's too busy being a slate baddie.
And they're
Mm,
they're probably
but
gonna
it's
get Tucker
okay.
too.
I
Who
love
else?
puzzles.
Please don't. I've had enough.
All right.
Like I'm
Speaking of,
sorry, he made the pre-jury interesting this.
One half of
he
a
really
summer was
did.
enough. Honestly, him in the house was fine. Him after, like him
Real.
on reunion night when he like had to get his quips in and stuff. Oh my god, like killed me with a gun. Like
Speaking of puzzles, the winner of the mini challenge was none other than Miss Asia Consent.
shocker.
Woo!
Shocker to none, except who got shocked. Uh,
Oh,
well,
Well, they all got
uh,
shocked, Mama.
they all
yeah.
got shocked. But then they start working on the challenge, and Asia and Pi, Alliance Extraordinaire, start discussing to make sure, is everything still good? Like, and Asia really saying that she wants to see Pi at the finale, and I'm like, okay, like,
Oh, somebody's going home.
which then puts little seedlings of doubt into Pi's mind in regard to the other alliance that she has loosely with Auntie. So she goes over to Auntie and breaks off their alliance cold turkey. She thinks it goes well. In parentheses, I have child read the room. Read the room.
Girl, when they give a queen the like blabber montage in a confessional, like that's
Oh,
it's always so shady, but it's so funny.
it's so good. I was like, oh, it's over. It's over.
Like this was the bury you in the edit moment starting. Like
The energy was giving, and that's why Derek Barry don't like you. Like,
It was so funny. But
poor
like
thing.
also, girl, these bitches don't know
What? What are we
what
doing? Why do
are
we
we
have
doing.
alliances? For what? And why does it matter if you have to go break it off at the final five? Like, okay,
why would you?
or just ignore it. I don't think they're that bothered about it. Like nobody cares.
No one became bothered until Auntie became bothered because Pi
Yeah,
said
until
something.
you because you don't need to come up to me and tell me that. Like that's like a thing you do in Big Brother and Survivor too. Like I don't need to tell you that
Right.
I'm breaking the alliance up. I just do it. I just stop being in the alliance. You don't tell someone preemptively and then expect them to be like, okay, cool.
Literally.
Like, what? Even if it doesn't mean anything. Like,
It's so funny. It's like watching early seasons of Survivor and Big Brother where they just like kind of didn't get
yeah,
how to play the game yet.
yeah.
It's funny.
It's giving Borneo where it's like, oh, you're going home. Okay.
Or like, I'm gonna vote based on the alphabet. Like, I've gone through A, and now I'm on.
I would have changed my name.
Literally, like, oh, I go by
Literally,
this today. Go by
literally
this
today. If you're on,
for today.
if you're on the blog, you change your last name to Z, or you change your first and last name to Z.
No,
Like
literally, I'm like, oh, but my nickname is Zeke or something. Like,
Zaharia.
bye.
Work
Zaharia,
Zaharia.
But then I'd get eliminated.
Zaharia Zapanta.
Hmm.
Zaharia Benet.
I'm sorry.
Zahira. Um,
Zahira.
Oh God.
God. Oh, and Pie Down was like, oh, I don't feel like I went back on my word with Auntie.
Like what?
Like I was loyal
Mother.
to the end, but I decided when the end was.
What?
Like
But I was loyal before that.
Not really, not even then,
No,
because
you
she was
weren't.
in the
You were
confessional. She's like, I
fine.
have this alliance with Auntie, but it's actually not as strong as my one with Asia. So it's
And you're
like, girl,
plotting
what
on
was
her
the point?
demise, like
What was the
previously.
point?
And it's not like you like went out of your way to save Auntie before. You still sent Auntie to the bottom. Like that's not an
literally.
alliance
Literally.
member. Like, excuse me?
Gag. Oh,
It's just mess. It's
not
a
I
literally.
love
mess,
a
mess,
delusional bitch.
mess.
I love a delusional bitch that like thinks they has their frame of mind of what they're serving and is like, yes, I'm riding with that when that is not the truth at all.
Um, so from like a very like camp chaotic moment, we kind of twiddle down into a very heartwarming moment between Asia and Auntie, where Asia reveals like her trust issues stem from an ex-drag friend that assaulted her. And that's why, the guard is up and Asia and Auntie get to have that heartwarming, heartfelt like family moment that like, yes, we are all competing, we all want the same thing, we all understand why we're here, but it's nice to still have that connection at the end of the day. Like
Mhm.
only they get to experience it, and as much as far as they get, like once until it's put on international television.
Yeah.
Anyone have any comments on that?
The crickets was crazy. Oh my god.
I mean, it's nice to, I guess, learn a bit about like Asia's story. Um, and I maybe it is relatable for people, so it's always good for certain stories like that to be kind of shown, even if it does come across a little like exploitative at the same time. Like there are people who might hear that story and relate to it, which can, I guess, help so they don't feel as alone. When it's difficult when it's like really touchy subjects like that.
Mhm. I think it's just like when I watch the scenes, it makes me uncomfortable, but that's a good thing. Like you need to
Right.
talk about those kinds of uncomfortable things to make them more open and be able to like talk about things that have happened to you and move on. So
Right.
just don't want to comment like too much on it, you know. It's like a
Yeah,
personal
yeah,
thing.
yeah. Well, I will leave it with this before we press forward. If you're not uncomfortable watching these kinds of things, it means, I mean, if you are uncomfortable, it means that it challenges something in you that maybe you need to look at or like have thought about. But speaking of mini challenges, we go back to the curse of baldness, and Asia decides to give it to herself. She thinks that she would be better without it. The wig that she had, she felt was rotted. She showed the wig, and I was like, "That's
Yeah.
accurate."
Yeah. Yeah.
To be so real, she made a very, very good call on what she decided to do with it when we do get into it. Um, so, what do you feel like this is the correct move for Asia to do?
Post explanation, yes.
Yes, I
Like
agree.
like when it was first a decision was first made. Hmm?
I was like,
Like
oh, we're losing
we all were
Asia
like,
this episode.
Yeah, I'm like,
Ah,
oh, so suddenly we're
Aw.
the strategic season and we're doing this nonsense. But no, I was like, oh no, this is correct actually.
See, now I would just want to like put on my little tinfoil hat and I'm like, okay, well, what if it's all a
They knew
ploy
they
and
knew that
production
wig was
knew?
coming and they were like, oh, that wig is rotted, mama. You're gonna be in the bottom.
W-
Use
Like,
that on yourself. Like,
what if the like, I guess it was like an 80s hairstyle or something, like a
mm-mm.
really large, like, what if that was going to be revealed to like what Asia had in the end? So literally all it was doing was taking off a reveal.
Mhm.
Like that's
mm,
kind of what my thought was. Um, I don't know. I smell a stunt.
Smells like garlic toast.
I
I think
mean,
me
Um,
I
and the
think with
producers need to have a little bit of a talk.
Hmm.
I think with how like the entire beginning of the season went, like every girl who got the curse succeeded and was in the top for the challenge.
I can't.
So like I can understand the desire to be like, oh, I'll give it to myself and it'll look better, but it also looks
It
cocky
doesn't. It
too.
doesn't look the same.
It's
Like
Yeah.
when you're given it, it's like, oh, they want me out, and I'm gonna rise above. But when you
right.
give it to yourself, it's like, okay,
like, okay,
like
that's fine.
you didn't need to do that. So okay,
Well, Asia and Gray are now tied for the most cursed humanoid creature beings competitors on Dragula.
Wait,
By
what other
Asia's
curse did
I don't.
I feel like
Gray
we've had
got
like
because
we
Gray had
had
two.
I
Gray
didn't
had
understand
two,
that sentence. So
Asia had
honestly,
two.
I'll be real.
She
So
had this one and
most
what other one?
cursed, like tied for
Oh,
most cursed.
I did not hear that at first. I was like, the most
She
creature-oid.
had no, I no, I could be hold on, I could be wrong. That could have been Auntie instead.
Because I think yeah, because Auntie got the curse with the arm,
Yeah, the first
The
one.
curse with the arm and something else.
and then Gray got the contacts
and then the tiny mirror,
and the tiny
Yes,
mirror.
the
Yeah,
comeback.
which like those two curses are kind of
All of
but
them are dumb. All of them were dumb.
this is
I
the
think
only curse that like could have kind of mattered.
yeah.
And
Yeah. And like it just so happens to go to the one girl that needs it, honestly. Oh, and it's a trivia challenge. Right.
I feel like a curse should be that they're not allowed to wear like whatever footwear they're gonna wear on the floor show. I feel like that would really like screw people over and they just have to walk out
They're
with
just
the
like, you have
dogs
to be
out.
barefoot.
with the dogs out
And
on
then they get
national
clocked for that.
television.
They're like, we don't want to hear about any curses that you received. You should have made it work. So you should have built a heel in the back,
Haven't some of the ghouls
cobbled
come
that
out
bitch.
barefoot before? Like quite literally Scylla in episode
Well,
one.
I'm sure.
I'm sure there's been people who can't afford shoes and that's okay. We can donate 20 cents a month to support
Can't
them.
afford.
Shout out Carniford.
Can't afford. We're
Bye.
who won
Ugh,
that lip sync?
I
stop.
haven't even watched it. Speaking of lip syncs, we're going to the floor show, and might
Ooh.
I say the Boulets looked gorgeous in those nightgowns. Like,
They looked cute.
y'all, this is two for
Benji
two of
had a
y'all
bold
just,
statement
and
and
I
we were just like,
did.
oh. For me, I think the like nude color did not eat with
Nice
what the
gowns,
overall.
It,
beautiful
it
gowns.
was just so like demure and
It was demure.
like
What's wrong
I
with
don't,
demure?
but like girl, come on.
See,
You're gonna give us the skeletons you gave us 2 episodes ago, and then this.
or like the Powder Puff Ghost Train.
Stop. We
Like,
need to put
That
that
was the
to
Ghost Hotel,
voice.
Mama.
yeah,
That was the Ghost Hotel.
girl,
Literally
I'm
kind of
on this season. Give me a
fake
break.
fan.
I said I wasn't gonna win the trivia challenge. Okay, I never claimed
I
And she
to be
didn't.
the super
didn't go
fan
to fucking
here.
school for math.
Oh, I didn't
Pushes
go to
up
fucking school,
glasses.
my man.
Actually.
Oh, God.
You keep saying that you're educated. You're college educated.
Speaking of college education, our guest judges were Joe Bob Briggs and Diana Darcy, the male girl Prince.
Work. I'm
Love
Work.
that for
familiar.
them.
Um, sorry, give me just a moment because
Who are they
I
again?
need to.
I
So Joe Bob Briggs is an American film critic and writer, and they work together on a show called Joe Bob's Christmas Carnage.
Oh, is this a
Work.
Shutter exclusive or something?
I don't know, to be honest. I don't think so. Or
Oh,
no, it's the last drive-in. So I think they do still review like horror films and whatnot. So they're definitely qualified.
okay.
nice. Okay.
I'm happy that they
I will
got
trust
to.
them
I'm
here.
glad that they got a spot as a guest judge, I
It
guess.
gave insider trading because
It gave nepo babies like
literally it gave like
Please.
I'm friends with the host.
Like, if we want a like a cunty duo that's always in the same like projects together, give me like Johnny Depp and like that one like actress that is
They're gonna
right.
always
book Johnny Depp.
Dragula's gonna book Johnny Depp. I'm sure of it.
well
Oh,
Let them get Paris and Nicole Richie first, please.
Bye.
uh
Could you
please,
imagine?
Please,
or like,
please.
where's Melissa Barrera? Like,
And their credited
where's
and their
Mother?
credits are the surreal life.
You have Melissa and Nev, and it's like battle of the
I
screens.
mean
Work.
with in season one, there was literally a runway that was like a floor show that was like you have to be pretty. Literally, they could do that for season seven and have Paris and Nicole Richie write that down, Boulez. Please,
Do
All
like
right.
something.
But speaking of visual representation, it's time.
Work.
For real. Next season, we're gonna
ooh.
get like their accountant as a
Okay,
judge.
are we discussing look and performance?
Well,
Yeah, so we will
yes.
discuss look and performance.
Okay.
All right, so first to the hooker stage, which mind you, sorry, set real quick. Simple but effective. I love the fact that they brought in a car.
It
Love
was
that.
cute.
We
It was
love
cute.
a little prop set design, if you will.
Girl, that was not little, but it was
Is
definitely a
that
prop.
related to the movie? Do we know? Was there a car featured in Frankenhooker?
I'm
I
sure
don't
there was
know,
a
but it was
car
cute.
in that
I
movie.
I feel like that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, coming
Work.
to the hooker
Big
stage
girl walking
is
down this dirty street.
Yuri Darien Lake.
Oh,
That was the verse that she was rapping. Um, so this is what I was waiting for the entire fucking time. Like Yuri gave hooking on a realness. She came in with that energy performance wise that I've been
hmm
desperately waiting on. Like I was like, yes, this. Where was this at the start? I wanted this. Uh, using the hair as a weapon, lovely. Now that I'm looking at, I think the purse is supposed to match like the rest of the material in the shoes. Other than that, the ponytail's throwing me off like a smidge, but like that's a very minute detail.
I'm I'm gonna be a little bit too real for a second.
Please do.
I don't like completely live for this, like it seemed like the Boulets
I get
did.
it.
I think it's good. Like, I think it hits the brief. It reads as like a Frankenhooker. Like you can see the hooker, you can see the Franken. I'm there with her, I guess, but
Yeah.
it's a bodysuit, a mask, and the boots, and like the braid is fun, but I feel like this could have been a lot more. And I will say Yuri performed down.
Oh,
Like
and it
I am
ate.
not going to deny that she ate. And Benji, I don't know how much you've seen of it, and I also haven't seen I haven't done a lot of research into what's going on with it,
Mhm.
but apparently there were accusations of plagiarism regarding this
Yes,
look.
we are going to delve into that. I did manage to get a screenshot of the original poster on
Ooh,
Reddit before they decided to take it down.
okay, to work.
Um, yeah,
We'll see her later.
this was very disheartening to hear because Yuri is capable of the talent we see before her. If this is the case, this saddens me.
I want to see it. Yeah, because I haven't seen it.
And
My
like
favorite
I
novels.
I I also like take it all with a grain of salt because like we don't know the designer, we don't know Yuri personally, we don't know what's going on
I
regarding
Exactly.
this. We
wish.
don't know what happened in the making of this look and like if there's any actual plagiarism going on, but
Right.
that's just what
Hmm.
the rumor mill is talking about regarding this look right now.
Exactly. I love how Max says she wish she knew her and she's the closest to being able to even meet her or know her out of all four of us.
Real. Well, I would love to personally meet Yuri. And tell them how stunning they are always. Maybe not on Dragula, but like usually on social media.
Oh,
Um,
when the pictures are doctored. Oh,
not too much because she can paint a mug.
I don't doubt that.
Okay. For me, I think when we meet Yuri and they talked about what their drag is like, it's like horror, sexy, slutty, love blood. This is very this from based on what Yuri said, this is very like them coded, and I think this is like a what Yuri would do for this challenge that makes sense. Um, I personally like it. I think there's a little like couple things that I don't live for. The like red like like around the knee on her left leg.
Hmm.
There's like this red thing. I don't really like that. I think the bodysuit is really cool and you can see it mainly like in the me literally slapping my thighs to be like, what is this body part? The thighs look really good with like the muscle definition and I overall I enjoy this look. Is it like the best thing I've seen in the entire world? No. Um and this is like me talking in like a scenario where Yuri did not copy something off the internet that they saw.
Real.
Sure.
Same seeds. I
Yeah.
felt like it was cute and like I feel like with this, I guess this category, it feels like this makes the most sense. Like it feel
Yeah.
like that's what I would think of. And I think it was executed really well. Obviously, I didn't even know about the possibility of a scandal. But I don't really care. I just want to know the tea. So, but I say, woo!
I do give this a woo.
Either way, even if it was plagiarized, I would still give it a woo.
For me, it's really, really, really soft, even disregarding any of the plagiarism stuff. It's very soft, but it's a woo.
Whew.
I would give this look and also the illustration of the potentially original design a woo.
Love that. And
I want to
speaking
have
of
a
hooker
team.
purse, next to the
Hooker purse. I
stars,
barely even know her purse.
hooker purse, I believe. Even though her purse, it's pie.
Ew.
All right, so I guess what else is starting? Um, First off, I'm going to start by saying I can't stop laughing at the game. Uh, Second, I I've always revered Pi for their outside of the box, their creativity, and I still do with this look. Like it's very colorful and out of the box, but I don't know aside from like the backside where it said no loads refused, where the rest of the hooker comes in. Like
Mhm.
Franken down. Um, it's just I think Frankenhooker. I think since it's a very specific like comedic horror movie, it fills into a specific niche. Not that Pi has to fit that niche, but like there has to be some sort of concordance aside from the Frankenstein to put that all together. Um,
And
and then
I think the Blaze mentioned it like when they were um critiquing Yuri, they were like, this is just like what we were looking for this challenge. Like you hit the mark exactly in the way that we wanted it to be fulfilled.
mhm,
And that's not to say like that these aren't other good interpretations,
exactly.
but this is what we were looking for.
Right.
Yes.
And this, for me, I agree completely with what Benji said. Like, I think the Franken of it all is done in a really cool way. I love the body horror of the like disconnected pieces, all different sizes, but there needed to be something else to tie it back in, especially from the front, because like with even just in this picture, you lose all of the hooker of it because it's all on the back. And so I think it just needed to read a little bit better as hooker.
Mhm.
But I think it's cool. I think the shapes are
Agree.
cool. I think it is well done. I just think she missed half the assignment.
And then just shortly into like her performance, like floor show and overall performance. Her overall performance was killer. I was expecting that from Pi. I think during the floor show, what I would have liked to tweak a little bit was the amount of presence coming right out the gate, because I think she gave us a lot to begin with. So therefore, there wasn't anywhere until the actual performance of the song for the floor show to go.
Mm-hmm.
Like you started at 10, which I don't mind because Pi normally doesn't always start at like a direct 10. But for this one, like the way that they came in was awesome, but like I wish it was just toned down energy wise. That way, when we came to the performance, it builds the way that it should have for her. That way, it's a little more, at least for my personal taste, just translated a little better fluidly overall.
The most camp part of the whole thing was how
Literally.
convinced Pi was that they were gonna be in the top.
Like,
Oh,
honey,
well, we will definitely get into that. That is directly into my cauldron notes. But any more thoughts on Miss Pie?
yeah, I hated it. I actually really hated it. And I just really needed to say that because I felt like everybody was being really nice and like miscongeniality vibes, and I just couldn't handle it anymore. Like,
I don't think it's
I just,
miscongeniality. I think it's complex.
That's my opinion.
That's my opinion.
here we go. They're jumping me. I'm speaking my truth and they're jumping me. They're trying to silence me. But I'm gonna continue to speak my truth.
Right, right.
This like made me a bit uncomfortable, honestly. And not in like a ooky spooky like I'm grossed out way. Like, oh, like no, I feel bad for you way.
Damn.
Like,
Um,
and that's just me being real.
for me, I like the concept of this. Um, especially the reveal of the back. I'm gonna keep it Miss Congeniality. Sorry, mistress. Okay, so one thing I find really interesting is the Franken like body parts on the front give me like different like characters. Like one thigh's giving Hulk, an arm's giving Shrek, one arm's giving Bumblebee, the chest and the shoulder is giving the the cotton candy monster from Scooby-Doo
They're
2.
all big too,
Yeah.
like big things.
So I think this idea is really campy, and for me, I feel like sometimes Pi does like the most basic idea. Um and I think this is a little bit out the box with all these different like the color scheme of it is very visually different to anyone else
Yeah.
of this episode, and the like kind of toxic Avenger look in the face and like the little bit added on the head I thought was interesting. I don't think it was executed that well. Like what is that lip doing? You're not the Joker, mama. um flip it to the back. That reminds me of my one of my best friends in the whole world, Nick. Hope you're doing well, sweetie. um I I thought
That
that
has
was
to stay in, by the way.
I
Do
thought
not edit that
I
out.
I thought the idea of the back was really interesting and funny, and I think the like kind of filth part with the hole and the
Mm.
liquid. I don't know what we can see on YouTube. Hey YouTube, how you
I mean,
doing? Um but it was shocking. And I think the performance had some funny parts. I don't know if it was supposed to be funny though. Um, but that's just pie. And I guess I'll go first. I'll give this like the softest of woos. I don't hate this. I just think it could have been better for me. For me. So
Um, for me, I think this could have been a lot better than it is, and for that reason, it's a boo.
I'm looking at Morgan first.
I'm looking at you
we know her
first.
answer.
Yeah,
I
for
need to know
me,
where people's loyalties lie.
Loyalty's crazy.
that is crazy. Speaking of loyalties, this is a boo for me.
Exactly. This is like a mega boo. Like maybe one of my worst of this season, honestly.
Damn.
I did not like this at all. And it honestly, it just like looked really disjointed and not in like pure Frankenstein way. Like it just didn't make sense, the shape for me.
Mm.
Please welcome next to the stage because Morgan basically said pie is misshapen.
Well,
Uh,
I didn't choose the outfit, okay?
you know who
That's
did
not my
choose this
fault.
outfit is Gray. Gray matter. Um, I guess
I
as the Gray enthusiast. Um,
who's the gray enthusiast?
I mean either one of us really. So
Twin. Twin.
Mikey's twin.
Um, I thought this was gonna win.
God.
Like this is it. It is super cool. The performance with the like her boobies and the spark plugs or whatever.
Hmm.
Oh,
Like
boobies.
her boobies, like this like centipede looking like spine and down her fucking shoulders too. Like it just I agree with what the Boulay said that it almost gives like Cenobite. Um,
Yeah, I
but
could see that.
I was so into this. It looks like the shape of the chest really makes it look like a constructed like sex doll Frankenstein monster, and uh, I thought Gray should have won in this.
I love a monster in a eight strap pleaser. Like literally eight straps. Like they Gray was like, oh, they said whore. Okay, got you. Like,
So I will say one thing really quickly,
mhm,
actually.
for sure.
Are those not Club Kid boots?
I was wondering because I thought in the shot, like for the video, that they were, but to me, at least from this angle, they look like hooker boots.
They're not black though.
They're not black.
That's, I
They
mean,
are
that's
at
fair.
least if they are at least painted to match the outfit
That's true. It's not just
or
a
like
club kid
specialty
shoe.
made.
Yeah.
Right,
I
right, right,
can't I
right.
can't tell if they're like the Club Kid boots or if they're like
No, neither
pleasers.
can I.
It
That
looks spray
angle's very
painted.
interesting. They do.
Yeah.
Well, and it looks intentional. Like even the
Mhm.
way the color dithers out at the end to leave the black on there,
Yeah,
it
yeah,
works with
yeah,
the
yeah.
outfit. The Greg put in details to like not make them just that, but
Yeah.
just something I
Mhm.
had noticed just now.
Yeah, at first I was worried performance-wise for Gray, but then it picked up and I was like, "Oh, okay, here we are. Good. We've arrived."
If you showed me a picture of this and said which monster in the competition is this, I'd be like, oh, this is Yuri. Like if I had not seen anything before, I'd have been like, oh my God, this is Yuri, because I would have never expected this sort
Yeah.
of look from Gray at all. Like this hyper feminine, what? This doesn't even look like gray matter to me. This looks like a
No,
different person. And I that's why I was so impressed with it. I was like, this is not what is this? What is this? It was so impressive. I thought it was gonna win too.
quite
And
literally
But I
high
saw
whore
the
the
drag.
storyline coming.
the rhinestone fucking scalp thing
Hmm.
that
Real.
Gray always has, but
Like
it's
it gave
stoned down.
glamour. Like, why did it give glamour?
Like,
Literally high whore drag. High whore drag.
like
Exactly.
literally this like Gray gave drag down in
Hmm.
this.
And they've been asking for that too.
And that's why Gray should have gotten this win. Oh,
No,
We had to give
sorry.
storyline. We had to give storyline. Pie had to go
giving it
No.
to
home.
Gray would have been such a good storyline too, though. It would have been such a good beat for him.
Three in a
Hashtag
Ugh.
Team
row.
Yuri over here as a resident Kiwi. But in regards to Miss Grey Matter, one thing y'all aren't talking about is that the back of her head is literally like another face,
Oh, real,
which
that's right.
is that was really cool to see visually. Feminine, not with that face, but
Uh,
Mind you, I
not you
said that
clock
looks like
13.
Yuri. I said that looked like Yuri. So you're clocking your fave too.
okay, well, Yuri was giving Moniki shame,
Oh, oh, oh,
so
and kind of
this
was
episode.
actually.
Yes, Moniki
See, this is what
references.
happens when you are a fan of the show. You can reference things in the past.
Bye.
Anyway,
Well, we
with
know how she
this,
loves to do a reference.
hmm especially when I can't say it properly because of potential dyslexia. Ooh.
She got to
Um,
practice
The
before and
the
still get it
potential,
right.
exactly,
the potential,
exactly,
the word
exactly.
potential is pulling its weight in that sentence real hard.
hmm I really, I did really enjoy the like middle boob like spark moment. I think
Booby.
Yeah.
that was
The
like
The
boobies.
movies.
that was the highlight of the performance from Gray for me. One thing I also really like is that they have this like centipede kind of thing going on, and
Real.
Hmm.
the way that they've stitched their outfit is that when they like move their shoulders, they're like the top of their outfit here like also starts to look like a centipede like on the thing, and it's
Mhm.
really cool. That's also a really cool thing to see visually.
Yeah.
Um, I think this is a very good job. Like if I would say Gray was top three for me, I wouldn't necessarily give Gray the win, but that's okay. This is just a very strong final five. Yeah. Anyway, what do we think? Boo or woo?
I'm
Woo!
gonna give this a woo.
Yeah, it like no question.
Like
Woo!
I live. I live.
Like and sorry, Mac. This should
I'm
have.
not.
I'm
I mean,
not.
yeah,
I'm
no, I'm not
real.
sorry. This should have
I
won the
mean,
challenge.
I was paid by the Boulets to say that you should have won with their original idea, and that being said, this is a woo for me.
Did you
Now
show
speak.
them the pod?
Literally.
Man.
Well, why do you think some of these episodes got taken down?
Ah, because those are reactions, child. But speaking of sock puppets, next to the
Oh,
stage, we are
oh,
going to see Gray still, but we're going to switch over to
talk
anti-heroine.
about sock.
Now, let me just say, this
Right.
was I was not a fan of this look. I this is I get the hooker part, okay, like titties and then like the removable parts, and I did block it here because I couldn't block it in the GIF. Um, but other than that, I see the Franken, I see part of the hooker with like titties and like the hooker heel, but like I didn't understand the rest of it. It gave me
I
more face Keeney than it did Frankenhooker a little.
I like I feel like I this is another one where like I understand like what the concept was.
Yeah,
She's giving a more like classic like the green Frankenstein's monster that like every cartoon has shown us,
yeah.
and like but he's in like a gimp suit or something, and
Mhm.
like it just didn't read the way that she wanted it to,
Yeah,
and the the cartooniness of it was too much, and it took away from the the like the readability. It took away from the like effectiveness of the look itself.
yeah.
And yeah, I just think this was a bad a bad choice for Auntie. It's clean and it's like well put together, but it's not
Like
good.
I get the outfit, right? Like I get that it's like an 80s vibe. It has like the punky colors, the silhouettes, the shoulder pads, like it's very that. I think it's just bad. That's why. It's not I get all of the references. I get what we're serving. It is just not a good look. It doesn't stand out really. It's just kind of basic looking, especially compared
It's
to some other
really
things we've
basic
already
looking.
seen.
Yeah.
Like it literally is it's just kind of a nothing burger. Like it's you're just wearing that, I guess.
Like this looks like she just grabbed this drag outfit that she had,
Hmm.
made the mask, put on the boots, and then was like, "Here, I'll make this little wiener and give it some camp."
Yeah.
Um, I think this is an interesting idea. I don't think it gives Frankenstein. I don't think it gives like Hooker though. It gives like not that. Like we see some cleavage, and then we obviously have the reveal of the wiener and the explosion, if you will.
Ew,
Ew, girl. Anyway,
disgusting.
I did like the little part with the fake arm being taken off. I think that was like a cool idea. But this look just isn't it for me, and I think it doesn't work well with the prompt and pushing it far enough, especially when everyone else was at least fitting the prompt a lot better. And then the performance chop. So
Yeah, I
Which is a
will.
gag. I feel like Auntie was set up in the beginning as like a performance queen down,
Yeah.
and
Hmm.
I
then she had such a downfall in the performance challenges.
well, we know that she's not the best lip syncer, so like I wasn't too surprised with this when they had to lip sync a song.
But
I
I
think it's
just
just
think
because
Now,
they like really boasted it up at the beginning. They're
because
like, this
with
is
the
a
with that Jack
threat.
in the Box, like they
Hmm.
performed that down. Like that was a really stellar performance from Auntie. And so when she hasn't been living up to the standard that she set, it's just disappointing.
they also got clocked for not knowing their lyrics,
Hmm.
Yeah.
which was disappointing because I'm like, damn. Like,
She's forgetful, it seems.
Yeah.
yeah, for me, this is a boo.
Boo.
It's a boo, Auntie. I'm sorry.
Because of the prompts and not fitting it well enough, boo.
All right.
Oh, but if it was just about the look, would it be different?
No, if it if it wasn't Frankenhooker, if it was like a Frankenstein businesswoman.
A businesswoman.
Yeah, she looks like
Mama,
she's going to business
you
or
kept
like,
saying you don't understand the hooker reference of it, but like it's very like I'm walking down the street with my bag. I got my
Yeah.
heels on. Like I'm Vanjie. I got that. Like I got the references. I just think it was bad.
Speaking of
Yeah.
It was bad
degrees,
execution.
Okay.
speaking of degrees in a BFA, next
Oh,
to the stage and last to the stage is Asia Consent.
One thing Asia will do is eat up a performance.
Mhm.
well,
Um,
he has to shoot a bow and arrow.
Yeah,
She's not a prop queen.
Well, this one, I don't know. It
Yeah.
like I think I was okay with it being safe because like I understand like I can see where she was going with everything, but I don't know. I think the choice to go with the brain head was a good one
mhm.
to an extent because it reads I don't know zombie a little bit more than it reads Frankenstein.
Hmm.
Um, but this like big constructed arm out of like parts or whatever was cool. I'm so like undecided on how I feel about this.
I'm kind of
Yeah.
50-50 myself on it because the again, the baldness on herself was a great strategic choice. Overall, um, I will say her energy was there, but was still terrifying at the same time. Other than that, like I think the sexiness was more in her playfulness of the performance rather than the outfit itself, aside from having, her titties hang out. She she loves to have her titties out.
Hmm.
Mhm.
But like the performance is what sold me on this overall.
Yeah, for sure. Same, because the look itself is kind of like a blob in a way. like an elongated blob going off. Yeah,
For me, I kind of like what I see. I just don't know what I'm looking at.
Fair.
yeah,
Yeah.
There's cool things about it, like is what's that little pig kid doing there? What are these shoes? What is the
hmm
like arm thing? Like I don't really understand what this is trying to be.
right,
Um, like does the makeup tie in with any of this? Not really, in my opinion, but
exactly.
it's
Very
it's
little.
it's an interesting look, great
It definitely ranked
performance.
third.
Yeah,
I
I would
think
agree.
because
This
of
is
the
my
performance, I
third.
was like, oh, it's a third.
Hmm.
Yeah. I feel like if Asia like kept that hair on, potentially bottom two.
That
Potentially.
hair,
Hmm.
that
Okay.
hair.
Just shake and go.
Um, but overall, I give this a soft woo.
I give this a boo.
I I give this a soft. I'm very on the fence.
Same.
Girl,
But
I'm
I
about
know
to
what I'm gonna
reference a
do.
moment that happens directly into what we're going to talk about.
It's gonna be a soft boo for me, I think,
Okay.
because I don't really like looking at it.
Yeah, I'm like 50-50. I'll just go with Boo since it's not a clear woo for me. And the performance
Yep,
is why
exactly.
Asia's not on the bottom two.
It was like 51-49. Like,
Fair that.
Hmm.
Um, so a very camp moment that happens after the performance and whatnot is Drac realizing that she doesn't have fucking eyebrows on. Or
Hero
sorry, lashes on. I
and reveal.
lived. I'm here
camp.
for it.
I realized after that happened that I was going to plan during the filming of this halfway through filming that I was just randomly gonna interrupt everyone and be like, "Oh wait, guys, this is so embarrassing. I don't have my lashes on." Um,
Work.
so I forgot that little bit planned. Oh well.
She always forgetting her lines.
Line.
Girl. All right, so the winner of this challenge is Yuri. Yuri won.
I'm so happy Yuri
Uh,
finally got a win.
Storyline.
Yeah.
But wait, there's more. On top of that, they decide to ask the good age-old question on any reality TV show. Who should go home tonight and why?
Dark sided. Dark sided and nasty. They said, y'all girls have been a little boring. So we're going to spice it up.
And what I thought was the most camp thing on earth, because I guess the rules were not clear enough, was that Asia said that Gray should go home
Real.
after saying that they saw Gray in the top three with them.
Well, didn't she say that to everyone, girl?
No, because clearly she didn't say it to Yuri.
Well, here's the thing. Yuri won the challenge. Asia and Auntie have been kind of like rekindling and like, vibing, I guess. And then she's
Yeah.
got the alliance with Pi. So Gray's quite literally the only option to like not hurt anyone's feelings, in my
Well,
opinion. Well, guess what,
Who
Mimi?
cares
Um,
about hurting your
I
feelings?
I thought it was gaggy that people's then started to be like, actually, congrats on your win, but Yuri should go home, actually.
Yeah.
I was like,
Like,
damn, let her enjoy her fucking moment for five
And you know
seconds.
what?
that was crazy.
It didn't that was a little crazy.
Like, y'all are getting haters and jealous, honestly.
And
literally.
Yuri was the only one to also vote for Pi.
Like, be real. Be
I
real.
Like when I watched that, I literally thought about Raja O'Hara in All Star 6 being like, I would like to congratulate Miss Trinity on her win after all the people start fighting.
She's like, let me
Literally.
just bring y'all down a bit here, okay? Um, but no, after that, then they announced the bottom two, which is Pie and Anti-Heroine. Do we
Yeah.
feel like that's correct?
Yes.
Yeah, I think we all are in
100%.
agreement.
There were like such a clear bottom two and such a clear top two. That's why it was like, oh, okay, yeah, you're right in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I feel like almost nothing and then bad and really good.
I feel
I
that.
Yeah.
think it's also really interesting that a lot of people expected Yuri to go home this episode. So everyone is like, oh, this is not the top four I planned because Yuri's here. So this is like an actual change. And I think kinda us included were suspecting Yuri was gonna get fifth.
Mm-mm.
Um, so it's interesting that like not the most obvious things happening right now.
Yeah.
I,
There's at
I'm
least something different.
I know for a fact, I forget who it was, but somebody in our little group chat that we have said last week, Yuri needs to win this challenge or she's a goner.
Me.
Me. Oh, one of us. Maybe
I think
both
no,
of
I think we
us.
no both things can be true. ¿Por qué no las dos? No, I think
I,
we both said it.
I think I said like Yuri's either gonna win the challenge or go home.
Yeah,
And guess
yeah,
what? Guess what? She
yeah.
did.
Um, and their extermination challenge was they get put into like a little freezer incubator moment that can reach down to negative 94 degrees Fahrenheit, and they must last longer than their opponent in those chambers.
Oh, I'd
No,
live.
mama.
I'd
No,
live.
ma'am.
Freeze
See,
me out.
I can handle being cold. What I cannot handle is being wet and cold.
Mm.
Yes. I work outside when it will rain and then have like chill wind. It's not fun. Hate working in the winter time. I had three thoughts when watching this episode. I had two and then a third, I guess. The first was this reminds me of that one Saw trap in Saw 3 with the girl with the freezing cold water sprayed on her.
Mhm.
They are writing down ideas. It seems literally torture from torture movies. The second was Blair St. Clair going, ooh, shh.
Oh, where
And then
RuPaul said that it was their favorite thing on earth.
and then Blair's like, let me do it a bunch. And
Literally.
then the third was like, I've never like, oh, so that's what it's like to feel like you're a garlic bread loaf for like a year and a half in a
Please,
freezer. Like, oh
please.
damn, so
Oh,
cold.
so speaking of cold, we're gonna head into some cauldron highlights. So Gray's pissed at Asia down. Um, and I honestly felt like Pai was taking out frustration on being in the bottom with Yuri on Yuri.
Mhm.
Like they started just going down the rabbit hole. To
Mhm.
Yuri's response, and I quoted, she told them to all of them to fuck off, and she said, and I quote, and they can all suck my ass.
Real.
Real,
Real,
Real.
literally,
so real.
Yuri's just
so
being
sorry.
honest.
Like what? Oh, sorry. Do you want me to like hand my win back?
Yeah, sorry.
Hmm.
Like I'll give somebody else my win and I'll go home.
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
I'm sorry I won. Hmm.
Oh.
That made it so unfair for you. Like what? Get a grip.
Like just
Oh
like do
God.
better. Sorry.
Like sorry you
Like,
flopped.
I'm sorry, please do better. Um,
No, it's not please anymore. Do better or
do
Like
you're going
better.
sorry
home.
you were really really bad. I'm sorry
Um,
about that.
and then there are some other moments here. Pi felt like they should have been at the top because they took risks, to which Gray responded, how is a butthole different than dicks?
Literally.
And like no man. Like,
Like, sometimes, you know, part of taking a risk is sometimes you do not succeed.
yeah,
Yeah, very
So
that.
you can't just succeed just because you took a risk.
right.
Sometimes that risk can be a total failure, and this
Hmm.
was one of those times.
Okay, and then one last thing. Pi said that they are the best makeup artist and costume designer Dragula had ever seen
Not
That's
makeup artist.
like,
Uh,
The makeup now the makeup has been stamped.
and
I
has.
don't know about best and Mama.
Yuri's right there.
Huh.
Like,
I've okay. Um, so
so
best is
anyway,
subjective to everybody.
um, what I like costume designer. No,
I costumes, yes.
okay,
well,
looks.
As in like outfits, it's a no, I think.
how could Pi say that they are the best costume designer when their outfit this episode looked frumpy? Now check that.
Well, that was on purpose, I think.
Well, and because they were delusional about their look. That's how they can say it.
And Asia's response to this statement was simply put, no.
Real.
Yeah, like I don't need to say anything else actually, because that's just incorrect.
And
Um,
like it's clearly Pi grasping at straws because they're realizing the situation that they're in right now,
yeah.
and it is dire. And
And none of us know firsthand how like dire that gravitas of like I want to be here is until we're in that situation. I
Hmm.
will say I appreciate Pie's fight. I just think the rabbit hole they started to go down was like maybe pull back a bit, Mama, just a bit.
mhm,
Um, but yeah, I mean, other than that, nothing too ecstatic in the cauldron otherwise. So we go through it, and our departed ghoul is high.
Yeah.
yeah,
Which kind of, oh, and their scene was that they were frozen to death in the incubation tube. To
Ooh.
me, it was, I mean, the result itself, considering who she was up against, wasn't a gag. It's the fact that when you look back at Pai's track record, this was the only like miss
Hmm.
statistics wise.
Yeah, it was giving like perfect.
mhm.
Close to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think we'll see them in Titans if they ever do it again.
I
I
wouldn't
think
be
so.
surprised.
Neither would
Hmm.
I.
I think Pi like got dealt an unfortunate hand
Yeah.
this week, and like I think had the situation been a little bit different, Pi would have made top four,
Oh,
but
real.
And what'd
eh,
you look at Yuri when you said that?
because she shouldn't have won the challenge.
Oh,
Ugh, I'm sick of
oh,
haters. I'm sick of haters.
And here's the
Anyway,
thing: I'm not saying she should have been in the bottom, but
oh! You said send her home.
look at this stun top four.
And let's
Look at
look at the
him.
trajectory, Mama. So Yuri enters into her first win and one bottom. Auntie has been in the bottom the most and survived with two bottoms. Um, and Auntie, Gray, and Asia all are consistently across the board with two wins apiece.
So Gray and Asia are the front runners right now, statistics wise, and then Yuri and Auntie are actually
Anti.
even.
I feel like we have a I think the crown is so far between two artists,
Hmm.
but there's still one more episode and two people have to land in the bottom. So
Does
I
Yuri
mean,
need to win again?
I think Yuri does really need to win again.
Like,
Me
damn.
on Blue Sky, like, here's how Yuri can still win the crown. A threed.
I mean, honestly, if Yuri snatched another win right here and it was a strong enough performance, like fuck, I could be persuaded depending on how it goes, but like at this point she would need to pull out a fucking Hail Mary to not go
Yep.
home next.
Oh,
I,
literally. Especially with what we know is coming up.
yes. The
Hmm.
challenge I've been the most excited for all season is finally gonna happen next week.
I need to watch.
All right. And speaking of Blue Sky, um, we do have a Blue
Oh.
Sky account for the pod, so please go and follow everyone personally. I will leave those links in the description below. But other than that, it has been a lovely time. Until next time, pleasant dreams, ugly.